Hi everyone, in this video I'll show you how you can create your first Power BI report and go from this data to this dashboard. Also, here are some timestamps in case you want to skip to specific parts of the video. Alright, let's start. Okay, let's start by downloading Microsoft Power BI. Here I am in Power BI's website where you can learn more about the software, and if you scroll a little bit, you'll see this button right here. Let's click on it to open Microsoft Store. We'll also click on this button and that will open this pop-up for you to download the software. I already have it, so I won't download it. Okay, now that you've downloaded the software, let's open it, and the first thing you'll see is this yellow screen. Here you can check your latest reports, tutorials, and you can access the forums and the Power BI blog. For now, let's close it. This is Power BI, and Power BI have three main views. The report view, where you can create the report. Table view, where you'll check all the data that you've imported. And the model view, where you can connect the different tables that you import. Here I have a couple of files. It's dummy data for a retail company, and we have a file for our customers where we have an ID and our customer name. Also, we have this other file with data from every transaction of our company. First step will be to get this data into Power BI. To do that, we'll go to Power BI again and we'll search for this area right here called the data ribbon. Here we can select the type of data that we want to import. In this case, both of the files are Excel files. So let's click on Excel workbook. And this will open this file browser. So I'll check on the sales data first. Okay, this will open this screen called the navigator. In the navigator, you'll have a preview of the data in the file or the data source that you chose. So here you can see that I've got all the information from this file I just showed you. So to import this data, we'll check on this checkbox, and that will enable us to load the data directly to Power BI or to transform it. I always recommend to transform it to ensure that the data gets into Power BI in the exact format that we need it. Okay, let's click on Transform Data, and this will open a screen called Power Query. Power Query is like a middle layer between the data that we're importing and Power BI, where we can do all sorts of transformations like splitting columns, adding new columns, grouping data. You have, I think, more than 50 tools to transform the data. And the cool thing about it is that all the transformations that you make will be saved as steps. So the next time you refresh your report, all the transformations that you've done here will be made to the new data on your report. So it really helps to automate all your tasks. So as you can see, here we have the data that we just imported. It's called Sales 1. In the middle, we have a preview of the data, and at the right side, we have the steps that we've already applied, and each new step that we applied will be recorded here. And here on the upper side, we have all the tools to transform the data. So let's say that I just want data from the West region. Here you can see we have the region column, so I'll just open it just like in Excel, and I'll filter for the West region. As you can see, when I click on OK, a new step is recorded. Let's say that I also want the first three letters of the product ID in a separate column. So let's split it. I'll click on the column and come to the split column tool, select by delimiter, and it asks me what kind of delimiter do I want to use. In this case, let's use this dash. And I'll say that I just want to separate the leftmost delimiter, so the first occurrence of it. I'll click on OK. And here we go. We have a new column with the first three letters of the product ID column, and a second one with the remaining information of that column. Okay, so I think we can also add a new column. Let's say that I want to add to the sales column a new one that is called sales plus tax. No, or sales plus shipping. And okay, I'll just click on sales and I'll add $3 of shipping. Let's click on OK. And as you can see, we have a new column with the sales value plus $3. Okay, I think those are enough transformations. Let's also import the data from our customers file. Here we can go to Power BI and import it just as we did with the sales data, or from Power Query we can come to the Home tab and click on New Source, Excel Workbook, and from here the process is exactly the same. The file browser opens up, and alright, here's the navigator. I'll preview the data. I'll check the checkbox and click on OK. Perfect, we have the data here. Okay, the only thing I want to change is to have this first row, which have the titles of the columns as the titles and not as the first row. So let's come here and click on the table tools, and let's click on use first row as headers. So as you can see, Power Query is optimized for all these transformations. Actually, Power Query also exists for Excel. So if you want to learn a little bit more, let me know in the comments for me to create a video about it. Okay, once you've got all the transformations, let's go to close and apply here at the top left of the screen. Okay, so now we have imported the tables into Power BI. As you can see, they are in this right section called fields. They are a little bit like the layout that you work with pivot tables on Excel, where you have the name of the table, and if you open it, you'll have all the fields or all the columns as fields that you can use to populate your visuals and your charts. Okay, but before we create our report, let's see the data view, where you can have a view of all the data you just imported. Here you can create new columns, you can create new tables, and you can also explore your data to check if everything is okay. Okay, and finally you have the model view, where, as you can see, a connection was made between the customers table and the sales table. This is because both of the tables have a column called customer ID with the same type of data. So Power BI automatically recognizes this and links both tables. If you have more than one table, you can also manually create relationships, so you can be able to use different fields from different tables to create your visuals. Something like using a VLOOKUP on Excel. Let's start creating our report. Okay, so once you have your data imported and modeled, is as easy and starting to drag fields into this report area. So let's say I want to create a line chart with the sales through time. So I'll first drag this field called order date into my canvas, and this will create a table. But I want a line chart. So I'll come here into the visualizations tab, and here you can select exactly what type of visual you want to use. In this case, I want to use a line chart. And here, as you can see, you have different fields to configure the visual that you are using right now. So in the x-axis, I want to have all the data related to dates. And in the y-axis, or as the values, I want to have my sales data. So I'll look for sales and I'll put it right here. You just have to drag and drop it in the field that you want. Okay, that looks nice. So let's see, but I actually want the data in every quarter. So as you can see, when we dragged order date, it created a hierarchy automatically. So in Power BI, you can drill down on that hierarchy, and if we click on this icon, it will go to the next level, in this case from year to quarter. So yeah, this looks better. Okay, perfect. Let's also say we want a donut chart. So let's look for the donut chart right here. Instead of dragging the data, you can also click on one of the visual icons, and this will populate it into your report. Okay, so now it's a matter of just dragging the data that we want here. Let's say I want to see the amount of orders by category. So I'll drag this category field into the legend parameter, and I'll look for order ID to count. Let's see if we can count here. Okay, I want to count all the distinct orders from the data. Alright, so here we have office supplies, furniture, and technology. Great. And also I want a bar chart. So let's click here on bar chart or stacked column chart. Let's put it right here. And I want to see the amount of sales. So let's drag the sales to the y-axis for each state. So let's find state and let's put it in the x-axis. Alright, that's looking great. Also, I think I want to add a way to filter by subcategory. So let's drag the subcategory field into the canvas, and here is a visual called a slicer. And with the slicer we can create filters that affect the report or just one visual. So let's change this to a drop down for it to be cleaner. And as you can see, here we can filter and the whole report is affected. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, now we've created our needed visuals. Now let's personalize a little bit more the dashboard for it to look better and to have more useful info. Okay, so if you click on a visual, you can see that we've been using the build visual section on the visualization pane. But if you click on this section, format your visual, you can also change the appearance of the visual that you've selected. Which kind of changes? Well, you can come here and enable data labels. And as you can see, now we have the numbers in each point of the chart. We can also come and turn off the x-axis, turn it on. If you open each option, you'll have a whole range of settings for you to play and personalize each visual to exactly the style that you need it. Okay, so for our bar chart, I'll also enable data labels, and I'd like to add a title for this report. So I'll come here to the Insert tab and look for that text box option. Let's call this, let's see, our awesome first dashboard. Okay, and let's make it a little bit bigger for everyone to see it. So 28, that's great, and let's bold it. Okay, perfect, that looks good. And finally, you can change the whole theme of the report. So if you come to the view pane, you can see that here are some pre-made themes. So you can play here and style it in different matters. So let's see, I want maybe this one, the storm one. Okay, this one looks clean, looks awesome, and I think we have it. But wait, I want to change one more thing. Let's tell the report that our data is in US dollars. So we can come here to the sales field, and once we click on a field, a new menu will appear called column tools. And here we can format our field. So I'll just tell it that this is in currency. All right, here as you can see, it just changed. Okay, I think we're done. Okay, so now that we've finished our dashboard, let's share it. So to share your dashboard, you can come to this option called Publish in the Share pane, or you can also come here to the file. Great, so we got our report ready, now let's share it. So you can come here to the Home tab, and on the Share section, there's a button called Publish, or you can also come here to the File option, and here you'll have the same Publish this report button. Let's click on that. Publish to Power BI, and let's save it. Okay, so I'll call this my awesome first report. For you to upload your dashboard into Power BI Cloud, you'll have to be logged in into your Microsoft account. You also have to have a Microsoft Power BI Pro or above license. Okay, so once we click on Publish to Power BI, you look for the workspace where you want to share it. I'll just use my workspace right now. You can select it and it will start to publish there. Great, it's published. So let's see it. And now it's on Power BI Cloud. So here you can interact with the report. As you can see, I can come here and filter it, play with the data, okay? And you can click on the share button and you can share it as a link. You can add it to an email. You can share it as a tab on Teams. And you can also create PowerPoints with the embedded report. There's even the option to embed the whole report in a website. What if you don't have a Power BI Pro license or above? Well, you can share the report as you share an Excel file. You can upload it into a OneDrive or send it as an attachment in an email. So, congratulations, you've just made your first Power BI report. Remember, this was a small workshop for you to get going with the platform. There is a whole lot more that you can do with Power BI. So, keep learning about the software and you'll make awesome reports in no time. If you got value from this video, remember to like and subscribe to keep leveling up your digital skills. And here's another video if you want to keep learning right now. So, I guess that's it. Bye. Thanks.